Éanna O'Connell Street, outside the GPO, where 100 years ago it all began. Pádraig Pearse read the proclamation and then went in to start the rising. Now, to be honest, usually I'm in O'Connell Street looking at the willy wagtails roosting in the trees, but today I'm off to the Gresham Hotel to look at the exhibition of memorabilia 1916 in your attic. This event is not only an opportunity to see rare items from the Easter Rising. Hundreds of history buffs from across the country have also hauled century-old artefacts to this room to get them valued.
These are effectively the medals of a survivor, of a participant in the Easter Rising in Enniscorthy in 1916.
Yes.
So, as we know, Enniscorthy was one of the few places other than Dublin where there was a rising.
Was this man related to you, Tom?
My granduncle.
He was your granduncle, yeah. And he survived everything, did he?
He lived and he died in our house in Enniscorthy in 1957.
Oh yeah, so he lived to tell the tale.
He did. I was 12 or 13 years of age when he died, so I remember him clearly.
And did he talk about it?
Very little, only on a surface basis, not any detail. But he was quite proud of his activities.
Apparently this also comes from the same house. And
is that a real gun?
It is a real gun. It's a 22 caliber.
Oh, it's heavy. It's heavy actually, isn't it?
6-shot revolver.
Yeah.
Obviously it's missing its grips here, but it seems to be a fully functioning revolver. A fascinating little collection.
And I assume quite a valuable collection.
Well, I would think somewhere between 2,200 and €2,500.
And people haven't only brought items connected with the Rising. The experts are also identifying and valuing other historical bits. Even the signature by the great liberator himself shows up.
There it is, Daniel O'Connell. So he's not an easy one to forge, MPs got free postage,
yes,
right? And they had to sign their name on the outside of the envelope and they go free. And he was one of the abusers of the system because he used to write hundreds of letters and he'd charge people for the postage and get money for it. So a bit of a chancer.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was doing all the Catholic Emancipation campaign. So it's nice to get it dated around that time. A lot of the signatures here are later. That's one of the most decorative things we've seen today. I would put a value of maybe 200-300 upwards, So.
Well, were you surprised at how much she said it was worth?
It was, yes. My mother got it from Larry Canal, which was very young. And she was coming to Mom, Rosanna Canal.
Well, that was her name, yes.
Yes.
And will you sell it now?
No, I'm not instant selling, no.
Well, we've a broad range of things, mainly connected to 1916, but not exclusive. We start actually with 1798, so we've some old prints of some of the leaders of that. Emmett's proclamation was the basis for Pearse's, so
absolutely,
they all learned from each revolution. And I think the most exciting thing we have is Joseph Plunkett's medal, which we thought had been lost. The medals weren't issued till 1941. Grace Gifford was his
wife.
She was indeed, Grace Gifford Plunkett, and she was a die-hard Republican. She fought on the anti-treaty side. She was in prison. She went on hunger strike. And
so she was no friend of Dev's?
She would have been, but Dev turned, you see. What really displeased her, though, was when he was Taoiseach during the emergency 1939 to 46, that he started imprisoning his old mates, the Republicans, and her friends. And so when she gets this medal sent in the post from the government of De Valera, she throws it into the bin. Luckily, a good friend of hers was there, and he saw what she did, and he in turn gave it to a friend who's now decided to sell it. And that's why why collectors collect these things, because it's holding history in your hand,
So Éanna, you've come along today now with memorabilia, and you've already been to see God Almighty up there, so has he told you what's the most valuable thing you have?
Well, in terms of interest, this is the most interesting. It's a letter from my great-uncle, Dermot O'Dwyer, who was in Croke Park on Bloody Sunday.
On Bloody Sunday, there for the match, was he?
Yeah.
And who was he writing to?
He's writing to his mother, asking for money. And saying
asking for money, is he? And how old was he when he was writing this?
He would have been in his 20s.
Yes,
so he had gone to St. Enda's school, where presumably that's how he got involved.
He was for Pearse. Pierce's school, yes.
Pierce would have recruited in a lot of the young lads through the school and then through the past pupils. So this is a photograph of him here when he would have been playing rugby at the school. This letter describes that he survived Croke Park, and then ironically in 1921 he was then shot by the British just outside here.
He was not, was he?
Yes. On the run he ran up Blind Alley and was shot. So there's a block of flats called Dermot O'Dwyer Flats just up the road from the hotel here.
Where was all this kept in your house?
My mother kept it in the attic, and she's recently gone into a nursing home, so I've taken it into my house to look after it. And I've been going through it all and cataloguing it, and it's taken a very long time. But in terms of monetary value, obviously I'm not interested really in selling
it. So
I'm more interested in maybe donating it to a museum if possible, or just keeping it in the family.
They flocked from all over Ireland to get their pieces valued, and some artefacts reached triple figures. But whether they decide to sell them on to museums or other collectors, or indeed keep them for sentimental value, either way, they've been holding a little bit of history in their hand. So there you are, they've come from all over the country, people who were interested in 1916 with memorabilia. So where else would you get it? In your attic, actually. There's a talk starting off here behind me, so I have competition, so I'm off.